There we go. Welcome back to Special Friends Podcast. My name is Mary and Sara.
I'm Sarah Huntington.
And today we're talking about vacations.
Yes, because Mary is in Alaska.
Ha! Yeah,
right
when
now.
this comes out, I'll be in Alaska. I'm going up there for Before You Die Comedy Festival, which I'm very excited about. I did it in 2019, and it's based out of Anchorage. And now they've kind of spread out and put it in a couple different cities. And I had such a blast in 2019. I remember I was 1 month sober.
Oh, wow.
And I went up there, and it was like, I was still kind of nervous because I didn't really know how to be around people.
Right.
Without, like, being drunk. Mm-hmm. But it was great. And it's so much incredible nature up there.
Why do they call it Before You Die? Because you should go to
Alaska before you die.
Oh, okay.
Like a bucket
Or you're
list
going to
thing.
die in Alaska.
Yeah. Well, maybe. Dude, moose are crazy.
I have no idea what's in Alaska.
Oh, everything. Moose, bears, foxes, wolves.
Oh, my.
Oh, my. Bald eagles,
Like
seals,
just roaming around.
whales.
Seals are still there?
I don't know about seals. I know whales.
That's funny because my vacation story is about seals. So
Oh, this is great.
yeah.
Well, yeah. Let's
so
get
you're
right
gonna
into
see
it.
a seal. Okay, well, I don't feel like I've told people on like the podcast, and people might know this about me, but my family, when we were younger, we didn't have really any money. Every year we went to, for our family vacation, it was Kentucky Kingdom.
Okay.
Which is a amusement park in Kentucky, worse than like a Six Flags. But I loved it. I was like, this is the best thing ever. We got to stay in a hotel. The hotel had a pool. You know, when you're a kid, that's all you cared about.
You care about the pool.
Yeah.
We could put Blake up. Blake is my 9-year-old stepdaughter. We could go on the most lavish vacation and do everything she wanted. And all day long, she would be asking when we were going to go to the pool.
Yeah. And
That's all kids want.
A Holiday Inn in the inside pool. Mm-hmm. Actually, the hotel we stayed at, it was an indoor-outdoor pool.
Oh, where
you
it
could
had, like, the
swim
thing?
under the
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Oh, my. I loved it. I thought it was the greatest vacation. But then we started to get money, and we started doing more extravagant vacations. The first one we ever went on was Puerto Rico.
Okay. How old were you?
I was 16. My parents had just adopted my nephews.
Okay.
My sister was in prison, so
Hell yeah, dude.
we had a 6-month-old, a 5-year-old, or Logan was like 12 months old. He was walking at this point.
So over a year.
Yeah, he was a little over a year. And Aiden would have been 6. And we went to Puerto Rico. And this was the first time that we had ever really been to like any beach besides Myrtle Beach.
Sure.
And I had been to Myrtle Beach maybe 3 times, and we drove there. So
Myrtle Beach, classic white trash vacation.
my dad's favorite place on earth.
It
Still
is
to this day.
It is a poor people, maybe not even just white trash, as much as a class thing. That Myrtle Beach is the epitome, I think, of a poor person vacation.
Yes.
That's where you go. There's a ton of people from Ohio. I'll tell you that much.
And
South
Indiana.
Carolina has like such a huge Ohio presence. It's wild. But Myrtle Beach, and then when you get a little bit of money, you go to Hilton Head.
Yes.
That was like the step up from Myrtle Beach.
And Hilton Head is fancy.
We're going to Hilton Head in June. My whole family.
I still think Hilton Head is fancy. When I think of Hilton Head, I'm like, oh, that's like,
It's like
rich,
money.
rich.
Yeah,
Like
it's
Southern
not,
rich.
Though. It's not, though. It's not that, like, when you understand what actual fancy, like, 5-star vacations are,
Yeah.
it's nice. It's nicer than Myrtle Beach.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But like in Charleston too.
Yeah, my friends got married in Charleston.
I did a show in Charleston with Hannah, and I remember we walked around, and I was like, oh, this is the rich part of South
This is
Carolina.
like old money.
And this is like 2 years ago that I
Yeah.
still thought this. So anyway, we go to this all-inclusive resort in Puerto Rico.
Is this your first time on a plane?
No,
Okay.
I'd flown
Okay.
before to see some of my family in South Carolina before this.
Okay.
But this is our first long flight. Also, keep in mind, this is with a 1-year-old and a 6-year-old that didn't have the greatest upbringing prior to moving in with us.
Yeah.
You know-
Also, I feel like Puerto Rico is only like a 4-hour flight.
Yes, 4-hour flight with a
With kids,
1-year-old that is a maniac.
Yeah.
Like we went to, oh my God, what's the Melting Pot with Logan.
With a 1-year-old?
He was so horrible that the people next to us, they comped their bill.
Oh my God. Melting Pot, again, for those of you who did not grow up poor and think these kind of things were fancy.
It was fancy to us.
When you pay a bunch of money to cook your own meat. They bring you meat and vegetables. It's a certain type of food. What is it called? Not fondue.
It is fondue.
No, because you put it in oil. Fondue is in cheese.
Well, you can get cheese and chocolate though. That's
That's at the end.
Yes.
You cook
it's
your own
kind of
food
like
in oil.
hot pot.
Hot pot, kind of, yeah. But they bring you all your shit, and then you put it on a stick, and you're like, "Oh, I'm cooking my own meat," and it costs like $70.
Yeah. Yeah. So we went to that was one of the first things we did when we really started making money was go to the melting pot. But we took Logan. He was horrible the entire time. Screamed. Fucking took the credit card across the table and was scraping it. It was bad.
Doing cocaine?
Yes. He was 1 year old doing cocaine on the table. Mm-hmm. The servers had to kick him out.
Out. You're like, where'd you get that tiny mirror? That's crazy.
Yeah. No joke. He was like, a lot of times he would do this stuff.
He
with,
probably
like,
knew what it was.
It was bad. And so, yes.
I only get to talk to my mommy behind glass. My mom lives in a glass box. Like, what? Like a glass house? No. Mm-mm. We talk on the phone through the glass.
Yeah. I was thinking
little
glass table. You're thinking glass
I'm thinking
jail.
prison. Yeah, where you like put your hand up.
Yes. Yeah. I'm going to get to the vacation part, but the first time we went to go see her in prison with the boys, we put Logan in this very nice outfit for some reason. Yeah. Like he had to dress up to go see his mom.
His first communion.
Yeah. So he had like these little patent leather shoes on.
Oh my God.
And like a full suit. Well, at the time we didn't know that he got car sick. So it's a 2-hour drive. Projectile vomits all over the car, all over himself. So we have to stop at a Dollar General. And we just put him in a sweatsuit.
Yeah, that's more
Throw
appropriate.
the car seat away. So he has little patent leather shoes on.
Oh, in a jumpsuit.
In a gray jumpsuit.
That's the perfect prison outfit of any age. Yeah. Any age, going to visit someone in prison, a jumpsuit and patent leather shoes.
He looks like he should have been in the prison.
That's amazing. Like, that's what he got booked in. You know what I mean? Like, that's your clothes you get back where you're like, damn, dude, these 5 years ago was a rough night, you know?
They're too small for him when he gets out.
Yeah. Right.
I never understood that. Why do you go to prison and get fatter in prison?
Some people do, but some people do a lot of push-ups.
Not my family. Every time they come out fatter, and I'm like,
it's also worse quality food. They're not giving them 5-star nutrient-dense meals.
I'm convinced that if I went to prison, I'd be in the best shape of my. What else do you have to do?
Okay, now. How'd you do during COVID? Let me ask you that. How'd you do during COVID? Because I think that would be a good comparable, like, what would I be like in prison? What was I like during COVID? Because during COVID, I was in the best shape of my life. I weighed 120 pounds, 125, pure muscle. I had abs. I had everything because I was running in the mornings and doing, like, high-intensity interval training at home at night. I was working out twice a day.
You were also sober during the pandemic.
I was sober, but, I mean, I guess you can drink, and you can't really drink and use in prison if you make your own toilet.
Exactly.
Wine.
So I think in prison I would. Now during COVID, no, I was in the worst shape of my life, but I also had access to a lot of things that made me gross.
Would someone bring you drugs up their butt?
I don't know. That's how my sister ended up there. So probably.
Okay. See, it's a lot of variables. But anyway,
I think personally, I'd be in the best shape of my life.
Yeah. You're dedicated. You're strong.
I also think that I'd be cool.
What are you going to prison
would
now?
like me.
What are you going to prison for now?
What would I go to prison for?
Yeah, now, today. What would you go to prison for?
Oh, I don't know. Probably fraud.
Fraud?
Yeah. Stealing.
Stealing from like a company?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would do that.
Like a true scam.
I would do that.
Not like stealing from the Whole Foods hot bar, which I do
every day.
All the time.
Mine is like, I do not feel guilty stealing from corporations.
Same.
Like if I'm at Target and they forget to ring up an item, that's a free item. I'm not saying one word to you, Target. Are you out of your mind? And I'm certainly not going to get this little 14-year-old kid in trouble.
Yeah.
I'm like, hell yeah, dude. Free whatever. Free t-shirt, free makeup.
I'm not going to steal from a mom and pop shop. But
no,
yeah,
never.
Big corporations, like fuck them a little bit. Like,
right.
I'm not going to steal my whole cart, but like, yeah, a trail mix, it's going in my pocket. That's mine.
I have no qualms about that.
Yeah.
I'm very Robin Hood in
yes.
that matter. I don't mind it when people steal from the rich. Am I going to feel different when I'm rich? Maybe. But right now I'm not.
Yeah, I'm like $1 isn't going to affect them in my mind is the way I always look at it. Okay, so we go to...
You go to Puerto Rico.
Yes.
You're on the plane.
All-inclusive resort. It's gorgeous. We get there. You can just tell that we don't know what we're doing.
You don't belong.
Yeah, like there's something off, but it's like the coolest thing. Like I remember going to the buffet, which we love a buffet.
And I think that's another poor person thing. Or is that an everybody thing? Because my dad was fat and we were poor. So Golden Corral, well, there was a hometown buffet that we went to every single Sunday after church. Every Sunday we would go to church and then we go to hometown buffet.
What was it called? Oh.
Hometown buffet.
Oh, that's what it was called.
Yeah. Yeah. No, not like in my hometown.
Yeah.
It was a name of a chain in Ohio or Cleveland called Hometown Buffet. And then they all got shut down. And then we would go to Golden Corral. Mm-hmm. And I didn't know if it was a poor people, because you can get all the food it's unlimited for back then, $7 if you're a kid. Mm-hmm. And then, yeah, it was always so cheap. And we had 7 people in our family. But I didn't know if that was like, oh, my dad is fat and loves to eat, or we're poor, or a combination of everything. Mm-hmm. Are rich people going to buffets? I don't think so.
I don't think so. But we kind of did the same thing. My nephew loved crab legs as a kid. So we would go to the Chinese buffet. It was like $5.99 for a kid to eat at a Chinese buffet. And they don't do it so much anymore. They've gotten a little cheap. But they used to put crab legs on Chinese buffet, and we would just give him pounds of it.
Yeah.
Like, that's all he would eat.
My stepdaughter, Blake, also loves a buffet, but she didn't start going to him until I started taking to her. And she loves them, dude. That's something like we do together. If I have her for a day, that's part of our girls' day. Yeah. Like, we go get Starbucks, we'll get our nails done, and then we'll have lunch at the buffet. And she's the happiest kid in the world. But we took her to an Easter buffet out here in New York, and they had smoked salmon. She came back with a whole plate of it. And I was like, Blake, you don't even know if you like that. She ate 3 plates of smoked salmon. Just the fish off the plate raw. She's like, I love it. And she was going nuts.
When kids like something where you're like, it took you years to grow a palate to like something like that. And then you see a kid that's just like my
crab
nephew
legs.
eating crab legs. Yeah. I was just like, how did you know that you liked those? Why don't those freak you out? But yeah, I think kids love a buffet.
They do.
Because you can just get whatever you want. And then if you don't like it, you just take it, but you just don't eat it.
And also, I think growing up in the 90s, our parents were very, this is what's for dinner. Mm-hmm. You don't get a choice. I don't give a shit if you don't like it. If you don't eat this dinner, guess what? This dinner is now your breakfast. And you're going to have cold pot pie and mashed potatoes for breakfast. You're not getting a Pop-Tart. You're not getting cereal. This is dinner. Mm-hmm. So I think for us, too, being a part of it was like, I can get whatever I want. It doesn't have to be the same as my brothers and sisters. I get to choose my own dinner, like no fucking way.
It was just mashed potatoes and A1 for me. Just a plate of mashed potatoes with A1.
And your parents are like, I don't give a shit.
They can't tell you no because like, fuck it, I didn't make it.
Whatever.
Like, eat whatever you want.
Doesn't matter. Yeah.
I just put that on my story though. I was or on my Instagram. Is it a product of growing up a little bit white trash and poor, or a product of just growing up in the 90s of not like were white girls that were 16 in New York going to eat hot pot and ramen and stuff in the 90s? Or is that just from the internet and stuff showing us how many different cultures and
I think they were.
Styles of food there is?
Because where you live heavily affects the way that you eat. And out here in New York, growing up, they had that. They had authentic Jewish bakeries that had bagels with lox, and they had authentic hot pot, and they had those in their neighborhoods, walkable. So I think it's more of what you grow up around. Other people didn't know about it maybe as much.
Yeah.
But I definitely think there were like young kids going to those types of places here.
I think it's one thing is New York, but even in like Indianapolis, Ohio, those kind of places now, you can get, I think, a wider variety of food than what you could in the 90s. Do you not feel that way?
Well, the 90s was more the boom of like the chain restaurants.
Exactly.
Red Robin and Red Lobster and Cheesecake Factory and Applebee's. I feel like that's when TGI Fridays. Chain restaurants exploded, I feel like, in the 90s.
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Is eating at chain restaurants a product of growing up in the 90s or a product of growing up lower income family?
Both.
I think it's both.
I don't think they had, I don't think people were probably eating, even though there was probably an Applebee's or an Olive Garden in New York City. I don't know that families were eating there.
Yeah.
Tell us, if you're from New York or a major city, you're not from the Midwest, did you grow up eating chain restaurants?
Yeah, but I don't think chain restaurants became trashy till like 8 years ago. Where people are like, yeah. I think chain restaurants used to be like,
you know what?
A cool thing to go to no matter where you were at.
Here's what I think. I think it was probably around the same time as the craft beer boom, which was like 2014, 2012, 2013, somewhere in those early 2010s. when people started really putting focus on gastropubs.
Yes.
This is like locally farmed,
Exactly.
locally sourced with the orange filament light bulbs. The burger cost $23 with no fries. Like that's when that became really trendy, which about 10 years ago.
Right.
So yeah, that's probably when it started to seem like, oh, you're going to go to an Applebee's over a locally sourced brunch spot.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was also the boom of Instagram though. So
Exactly.
what are we
so
connecting?
it was like a little bit of the microbreweries, Instagram. But growing up in the 90s, like going to Olive Garden was not trashy.
No.
I think we just think it was because now we think it's trashy. But back then it wasn't. It truly wasn't.
I still like Olive Garden.
Me too.
Brian and I, if Brian
And
has
if you
a random,
don't, fuck off.
if he has a random weekday off, we'll go to an Olive Garden.
Soup and salad?
Yeah, and back then it was like $5.99. It's only like $10 now.
Yeah.
We'll just eat some soup and salad and go to Pottery Barn. Like, why not? It's incredible.
Pottery Barn.
We love it. We love doing our little old
Olive Garden and Pottery
our
Barn
little
is so
old
funny.
Midwest couple dates. They're my favorite thing.
Yeah, a little Cracker Barrel and Pottery
Yes,
Barn.
there's nothing wrong with that. I don't see anything wrong with that.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Yeah.
You know what our buffet was too? Was oh no, wake up.
Wait.
No, I gotta send in my avails. Our after hometown buffet Golden Corral, also Ponderosa.
Ponderosa.
Dude.
Have I told you my kale theory?
That's why kale got popular?
Yeah, because Ponderosa went out of business. There's still a few Ponderosas, but they went out of business around like 2009. Mm-hmm. And then 2011 is when kale gained all this popularity. And I think it's because the Ponderosa buffets were filled with kale.
Were.
That's what they sat the plate.
In between. Yeah,
Yeah.
It was the decoration.
It was plate decoration up until 2011.
For
and then
you
they
to
were
eat
like,
the tiny little fried wings. God, I could eat 50 of those wings. They were so good.
They were good.
And Ponderosa is also the first place I put the little ham cubes on my salad.
oh, yeah.
We call them hammies.
With French and ranch dressing
Ooh,
is what I would do.
Look at you. We call them hammies because, no, this is going to be gross. You're not going to like this at all. I have an Italian family and skin tags run in our family.
Yeah,
and I don't know if this is old people across the board, but specifically Italians, I see it all the time, where my family would get them around their eyes. My dad had them under his armpits. And they looked like the little ham cubes from Ponderosa. So we would call them on my dad his hammies.
Don't ruin hammies for me.
That's what we would call them. But we didn't call the ham at Ponderosa hammies. We called my dad's skin tags hammies. And like my grandpa, I'm like, why does grandpa have hammies around his eyes?
Oh, one of my favorite thing in the world is ham cubes, and my least favorite thing is skin tags. And you're absolutely ruining my little
I
ham
have 3
cubes.
skin tags on my butt. You want me to show them to you?
No, yeah, I think you've showed me one before. You showed me a skin tag on your body somewhere, or no, I think I had one, and you were like, "That's a skin tag," and I was
Yeah,
like,
you have one.
"Remove it."
And I was like, I
Cut it
have
off.
3 on my butt. I'll show them to you, and then
don't
you'll
want to
really
see
never eat
them.
ham cubes again because one of them looks just like it.
Absolutely not. I don't want to.
Well, there you go. Take that hammies with you. So anyway, you're in Puerto Rico.
Yes.
You're at the buffet.
Yes.
Or no, you said you don't belong. You're enthralled.
Yeah.
Everything's amazing.
You can just tell that like we don't belong at this. And again, I was like 13. I was like 15 or 16 at this time. And so I wanted to do an excursion. I had decided that I leveled up. I don't hang out at pools anymore.
Sorry.
So, and it was an extra cost. So I had never been, normally it was like, this is what we're doing.
Yeah.
Like, don't make a fuss about it. Don't ask to do extra things. You can ride this same roller coaster over and over again if you want, but don't ask to get extra things. We're going out to the van to eat soggy sandwiches.
Yes, we're not playing games. You're not playing the balloon pop. You're not getting a stuffed animal. No airbrush T-shirts.
Yes.
Like we're not doing any of that.
Yes. So I tell my mom I want to do a swim with dolphins tour. Yeah. So it was just my mom and I, which was great. I know, love my mom. And so she books it, and we get there, and it is, I guess it wasn't seals. It was swimming with sea lions.
Oh, damn.
Yes.
Sea lions are big.
Yes. They are the dogs of the sea, as they call them. So we get there, and I'm like, okay, why are there no dolphins? She goes, there are dolphins, but it was all booked up. So I figured you'd be okay with just swimming with sea lions instead. I said, I never wanted to swim with sea lions.
I didn't even know this animal existed.
I never said that. I've been in the ocean 5 times prior to this at this point. So we get there. The ocean's right beside us. We don't go into the ocean to swim with the sea lions. You go into this pool that is the size of this table. I swear
Yeah.
it's tiny. And we have to put on these like swim, like the full gear swim things.
The wetsuit.
And we get in there, and it is the most terrifying experience of my entire life. Like, I thought it was going to be so fun. Like, this is what I had in my mind. I'm going to ride a dolphin into the ocean.
Yeah.
But I got put into a pond with a sea lion, one singular sea lion.
Oh, this poor sea lion.
Yeah.
That's his job, dude. All day, just letting tourists take pictures with them and swim with them.
So it comes up to me, and they want it to do tricks or whatever. So they're like, give it a kiss. And I looked at the instructor. I was like, no. What?
They probably thought you were like some bratty rich kid.
Yeah, but no, I was just some like kid that had never experienced much. Like, I was just like, I'm not kissing that. And so it like goes underwater. It spits on me. Because I guess that was its next trick if you don't kiss it.
Your sea lion's a fuckboy.
Yeah.
You won't kiss it. It's like, bitch, you're ugly anyway.
I didn't want to kiss you anyway, bitch.
You're fat. What? Was that blubber?
I don't even like blondes. So then this was also, I had just watched this documentary, Blackfish.
Yeah.
Yes.
What was his name? Tillicum?
Yes.
He was the orca whale that at SeaWorld that killed his trainer.
Yes.
But he
Scalped
had
her.
he was
Scalped her. That's how he killed her.
Yeah. Well, he pulled her by the hair. Yeah. But what I'm
Took her
saying
scalp
is,
off.
his little fin, his dorsal fin, started to hump because he was so depressed, and it was like the big documentary that like, hey man, these animals should not be in captivity. They should not be trained to do this stuff. They're sad, dude.
Exactly. And I remember watching it, and the main reason that it would attack is it wouldn't get its treats. Like, they would make it do it again. They'd say, oh, you didn't do that right. Do it again. And so I'm watching this sea lion, and she's like making it do tricks. Well, one time she doesn't give it the fish. She just like takes it away, and she's like, do it again. And I was like, get on the fucking fish!
Kill everybody.
And then she's telling us this insane stuff. Like, sea lions can swim underwater for 4 minutes, 30 miles an hour. And I'm like, why would you tell us that?
Yeah.
Why would you tell us that when we're inside with a sea lion?
Yeah, but you're in a little pool. It's not going to take you anywhere.
What if it does? What
Where's
if
it gonna
grabs
go?
me by my hair and it goes to the bottom and swims me around until my head falls off?
I guess it could.
That was my only thought.
Yeah.
The entire time was that I just got to go on my first vacation.
Yeah.
That's nice. And I'm going to get beheaded by a sea lion.
Yeah.
First day in.
Did you get beheaded?
No.
All right.
No.
So this is a happy ending then.
It's a happy ending. But that was my first trip to Puerto Rico. I don't know if I had any more to say about it.
I think that's the whole story.
That's kind of it. Yeah.
You liked it? It was fun? The kids behaved?
Oh, no. No.
Did you get thrown out of anywhere?
No, we didn't get, the melting pot was on the Puerto Rico vacation.
Oh,
No.
okay.
Yeah. I think it was on a vacation.
Well, in all-inclusive resorts, they usually have like 4 or 5 restaurants.
Yes.
And you can pick like an Italian restaurant, a Mexican restaurant, a French restaurant. Like they have, and they're all supposed to be like 5-star dining or whatever. So if they had like an Asian hot pot restaurant, that would make sense.
No, I might be getting my time confused. It may have been a different vacation that we went to Melting Pot. But no, nobody behaved.
I'm trying to think of which vacation story I want to tell because I have like probably my favorite vacation I've been on in recent years. Brian and Blake and I went to Brian's parents have a house in Goodyear, Arizona. Okay. They bought it right around the pandemic because they're both at like retirement age and they're snowbirds now. So they live in Ohio for like the summer. They come back in like May and then they go back out there usually in like November. So they're here for this summer and part of the fall and then they go back out to Arizona. So his parents have a house there. So we go there and we stay there. And 3 years ago, 2022 or 2023, the 3 of us went and we stayed at the house in Goodyear for a few days. And then we drove up to Sedona, which is like unbelievably beautiful.
Yeah.
Like it's unreal how pretty
I haven't been there, but
these places are. It's like the red clay rock formations, and it was so cool. It was so cool to see it. Brian fell in love with that place where he's like, this is where I want to live. Like, this is where I want to retire.
I think I'll retire in Arizona.
It's really cool.
It's just gorgeous.
There's no water.
But a dry heat, I heard, is good for you when you get older. Like if you
Okay, but there's no water to drink or bathe in.
Oh.
That's my point, is that I have a theory. There's not going to be any more people living in those states in like 20 years.
Really?
They're going to be out of water, dude. People are going to be gravitating toward the Midwest. They're going to be gravitating toward the Great Lakes, Michigan, Ohio, anything, Buffalo, that whole area along the Great Lakes is going to explode in the next 5 to 10 years because all the water is going to be gone from the rest of the country, and no one's going to be living there in the next 20.
And then what about like Louisiana and stuff? It's just going to be underwater?
I don't know about that. I haven't gotten that far. Mine's more about having to own property in Cleveland for when the water wars start. But
I was thinking, like, if they're in Arizona, they'd want to go somewhere warm. So I would think more like Atlanta, Jacksonville, Louisiana.
Maybe, but then hurricanes.
Okay.
I think it's more of a like, hey, how much water can you try to conserve in these places before you're like, I'm tired of taking 2 showers a week to live in this temperate place.
I really didn't know they were that low on water.
They're not that low yet. But there are definitely, like, you're not allowed to water. There's not a lot of lawns out there. It's all rocks and stuff, and cacti, whatever. But like, you're not allowed to use excess water for that kind of stuff, to wash your car and things like that. You get like fined for it. Yeah. The same thing in LA.
Well, I knew that in LA. I didn't know that about Arizona.
Arizona's more desert than LA. How did that not make sense to you?
I thought LA just was overpopulated.
Oh,
and that's why. There's just too many people. They're like, hey, you can't use extra water. We've got more people here than space.
Yeah.
Where Arizona, it's like, it's like the Midwest in
it's not.
a warm place.
It's the South.
No, I mean as far as people.
Population. Yeah. Okay. So we go there. We're in Sedona. We had just like everyone got along, which in like a family setting, for everyone to get along for a week, other than like minor here and there little spats, everyone's tired, everyone's hungry, so we're all bitching. But like, there were no big blow up fights. There was nothing like that. We all just had like a great week. We went on this pink Jeep tour where they take you up like into the mountains and into the rock formations, and you get out and you take pictures and they show you snakes and stuff. It was so cool. It was like, well, because you're in the desert. So if they're like overturning rocks looking for lizards and stuff.
You saw a snake?
I didn't see a snake in the nature, but that's the next part of the story. I think there's a certain part of me, no matter how nice my vacations get, because we stayed in a really nice hotel that had this unbelievable view of the mountains, and we were eating at like nice restaurants, because even though I'm not a rich person, I'm going to spend money on travel because I never got to travel. Yeah. We went on one vacation as a family when I was a kid. I went to Hilton Head with my high school sweetheart twice. And then any travel after that has been for comedy as an adult. Yeah. So we never got to experience things like that. So for me, taking Brian's daughter Blake and showing her what a cool place America is, like, that's important to me.
Yeah, that's how my mom was me. Once, I got a little bit older, most of my vacations have been with my mom. I sound like I'm obsessed with my mom on this podcast, but we are very close. But all of my good vacations have been with her, and she says that. She's like, I never got to go anywhere as a kid, so I want to make sure that you're able to see the world. Yeah. Before I die with me.
I wish I can do that with my mom. My mom she doesn't like committing to things. So I'll say, like, for instance, in April, her favorite country artist, Alan Jackson, is playing in Hollywood, Florida. And I was like, Mom, let's get tickets to this. Like, let's go. And
Hollywood, Florida, that's where my mom's timeshare is at.
Maybe I can use it. Yeah. Well, I told her, I said, let's go see Alan Jackson. It's his last tour. He's in his 70s. Like, he's your favorite. And she's like, oh, I don't know what the schedule. And her long-term boyfriend is in, like, he's got health issues, so he's in a care facility. I don't know what Jimmy's gonna. So she, like, doesn't commit to anything, and then 2 days before she'll be like, are we still going to Florida this weekend? And I'll be like, no, I didn't book anything because you told me you didn't want me to. Well, I thought we were gonna go. Mom, I can't buy tickets now. They're $1,500 a piece. Yes. 4 months ago I could have bought them for $200 when we talked about it. She won't commit to anything.
I'm horrible about that too.
That makes me crazy.
I know. And it's something that I want to get better at, but I will. I'm one of those people that's like, oh, I don't know. I don't think I should do it. It's
Just
like
last night we did
yeah,
this.
Yeah.
Luke Combs is playing in Destin, Florida. You get to stay on a beachside, like condo, where you see the ocean. You have 2 pools, and he's playing 2 nights of shows, and for like $1,300, and you stay 3 nights. And I'm like, Sarah, 3 nights in a beachside condo and 2 Luke Combs concerts for $1,300.
It was more like, okay, let me think. Do I like Luke Combs? I have to think about that. I have to. Do I like him enough to go watch this concert? 2, is it worth $1,300? 3, do I have that time off? 4, is it worth taking time off of comedy to do that? 5,
it's 3 days. I'm not asking you to go somewhere for 5 weeks. I'm not saying, hey, let's go backpack around Europe for the summer.
5, do I have other vacations planned that same month? I try not to do more than 1 vacation a month. There were just, I'm not. That and then it takes me 3 weeks to figure all that out, and then by that time people are like, "Oh, the tickets are gone, babe."
But I guess I don't understand how those questions aren't answered immediately. Pull up your calendar. No, I don't have it. It should take you 10 minutes. No, I don't have any other dates in October. No, I'm not busy that weekend. How could that?
That's crazy.
How could 90% of those questions not be answered by looking at your calendar?
You think that I've made any decision in 10 minutes? That's crazy to me.
Okay, but I'm saying go through the process. You pull up your calendar. You have no vacations in October. You're not booked that date. It's only 3 days. Is that too much time to take off comedy?
Brain doesn't work like that.
You can't answer those 2 questions.
Okay, I don't know. I don't know.
I'm telling you. Here's the scenario.
Okay.
You pull up your calendar. Mm-hmm. You don't have any vacations in October. Mm-hmm. You are not booked that weekend. Mm-hmm. Okay? So now you have the weekend free. You have no other obligations in October. Okay? It's only 3 days. Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Mm-hmm. That's not too much time to take off of comedy. It's 3 days. Mm-hmm. Okay? You're in Florida. You're on the beach. You look up Luke Combs songs next. You pull up Spotify. You see his top 10 most played songs.
I'm already bored.
You see his we're 40 seconds. We've been talking for less than a minute. You're the most infuriating person I've ever talked to in my life. This entire process should take you 5 minutes to go through all those questions.
I had to do laundry this morning, and I woke up at 8:30, and it took me an hour and a half to figure out when I was going to do the laundry, how I was going to do the laundry.
What does that even mean?
I don't know. It's just like, okay, well, do I want to do it after the podcast? Well, I want to work out, so should I go to the gym first? Well, no, then I'm going to have to walk to the gym and then come back. Well, is there a way that I could work out in between doing the laundry? Maybe while it's in the dryer, and it's like, no, because it's only 42 minutes that it's in the dryer, and then I'm gonna have to come back and fold it and come home. That's what my brain does every single morning. And then finally I'm like, just get up and do it. And then I finally get myself to do it. But the first hour of every morning of my day is me fighting my brain to figure out how I want to schedule my day. Even though I already put it down the night before on on my notes app, time by time, how I was going to do everything.
So why would it change from the night before?
I have no idea.
If you wrote it down on the paper, why don't you just look at the paper and go, okay, right now it's 8:30. At 10 a.m., I scheduled laundry. So I have an hour and a half to get up and have breakfast and go do laundry. Why would it have changed in the sleep?
I don't know. I
think we talked about this on one of our earliest podcasts. I don't know. We do so many of these. And some of them we record 3 times before we like it.
Yeah.
And so there's conversations that nobody knows we've had. Mm-hmm. But one of them, we talked about making decisions. And I said how I trust my gut so strongly that if I feel it, I make the choice and I do it.
Yes.
And you said you can't do that.
I go with my gut a lot of times, but I have a hard time with small decisions. Everyday decision making is very difficult for me.
You might have that's part of Brian's OCD. I don't know that you necessarily have OCD, but that's there's lots of different, there's cleanliness, there's this, there's that, there's lots of different types. Rumination.
Obsession, obsessive thoughts and stuff.
Ruminating on the same thoughts over and over and over again. But he has trouble with small decisions. He'll be standing in the hand soaps for 15 minutes because he can't decide which hand soap is best when it's just just pick one that smells good and let's go.
I've been trying to find a new duvet cover for probably a month and a half now. And then
just pick one.
I can't.
Why?
And bar stools. Since we moved in here, I've been trying to pick bar stools.
I haven't ordered any because you said you wanted to. I would have had bar stools here in 2 weeks.
I don't know what it is. I don't know why.
You're afraid you're going to make the wrong decision on your duvet cover? Then you take it back and get another one.
Yeah, it sounds so simple when you say it like that. You make it sound so simple, but in my head, when I'm doing it, I just need somebody to come press the button for me. Just press it. and then I can move on with my life.
I get it.
But I've got 9 different duvet covers, and then I'll almost order one, and then I'm like, you know what? I should go check out Target first and see if I like one there better so I can feel it. Then I'll go to Target. I won't find one. Oh, I'll just get it on Amazon. Then I'll come back home, get back on Amazon. Like,
That's
I don't
crazy.
want to be here either.
That's a wild way to live.
Yeah.
And there's days, I'm not a super indecisive person.
Yeah.
There's days when I don't really know what I want to do, or I get like annoyed because I have 2 things I have to do all day and I don't know when I want to do them. But I've never struggled with indecision.
No, that's kind of why I like letting you make decisions. Like, I'm like, just whatever you want to do today, just tell me, I'll do it.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to make the decision because it will take me too long. Like,
See, I get annoyed, now that you're explaining like this, I get annoyed with Brian because he'll say things like that, but I know it takes him so long to make decisions that I feel like he doesn't want to do the thing I want to do, because I am very decisive. So if someone says, hey, do you want to do this today? I'll be like, no, I don't want to do that.
right.
Where he would never say that. So if he's like, I don't care, let's do whatever you want to do. There are very few times in my life I've felt like that, where I've been like, yeah, I don't really care. There are times where I'm like, yeah, let's do whatever today. Mm-hmm. But most of the time I have an opinion on what I do or don't want to do.
Yeah.
So I don't believe him when he's like, yeah, no, just pick something. And I'm like, well, what do you want? Because I know he has a hard time when really he's asking me, just pick it. I don't give a shit where we go to dinner. Just pick a place.
Yeah. No. I'll normally like give you 3 things that I have going on in my head. And then I'm like, just make the decision. I'm cool with any of these things, but please make it for me.
I can't handle
because I'm terrified that you're going to be upset if I choose the wrong thing.
Yeah.
So you just pick it, and I truly am going to be happy no matter what.
Okay.
It's not like I'm secretly like, I'd rather do this. Truly, the inside of my brain is going around in circles so much. I'm just fucking
somebody
pick it.
Yeah, I get like that.
Like,
okay. So we're on vacation in Sedona.
Yeah.
We go on the Pink Jeep tour, and we're having fun. And here's my theory, is that no matter how much money you have, no matter how much money you come into, if you grew up poor and trashy, you're going to be poor and trashy forever. Okay? I can't stand when you do that stupid fucking... Just do it. Who are you hiding from? We're on the podcast. Just do it normal. What is the point?
I don't know.
What's the point of hiding it? Who are you hiding it from? You're not at a restaurant. I'm not going to throw you out. You're not violating the federal code of not vaping on an airplane. What are you doing?
I don't.
You're in your own home. Hit your goddamn vape. Hit your vape normal right now.
I don't want anyone to know.
Just hit it normal. Okay, there you go. What's wrong with that? Why do vapors feel like they need to be sneaky?
Because we
You
do.
guys, no, why? You feel like you need to be like, oh, my little tiny.
Well, because a lot of times I am sneaking it.
That's crazy.
I'm like in a bathroom or something, like sneaking it.
Is that part of the appeal?
Maybe.
That it's like bad?
It's like sneaky.
Like breaking the rules.
I'm going in the bathroom to fucking hit my
Oh
face.
my God. All right, so we're in Sedona. I'm never going to finish the story. It's not even a good story. It's fine. Trashy things that you do.
Oh, yeah. That you can't get rid of.
I love a street performer, especially if they have animals. So there was a snake guy on the street in Arizona, and he's got snakes, and he's got lizards, and he's got frogs and spiders. And I love this kind of stuff. Ugh. Where I'm like, this is dirty old man who's just sun withered with bleached hair, and he's skinny, and he's got on a loose fitting tank top and a bandana and wraparound Oakleys. I love him. He's in every town, okay? And he's got snakes. He's a snake guy, and I trust the snake guy. I don't know why. I trust the snake guy with knowing he's not gonna let this snake bite me.
Oh, okay.
Do you know what I mean? I trust the snake guy that he knows his animals enough that I'm going to hold this snake.
You trust a guy with leathered skin, clothes that don't fit him, and wraparound Oakleys on.
About snakes? Yes. There are very...
My taxes? No.
I'm not going to listen to a single political view he has. But this guy knows lizards. That's all he's done his whole life. His house is full of terrariums. This guy knows lizards. Okay?
Yes.
Yeah. So
okay.
Blake is freaking out. She's like looking at the snakes behind the glass, and I'm so into it. And I'm like, dude,
didn't peg you for a snake gal.
I'm not, but it's cool for a minute when it's like on the street. We're walking up and down like the main stretch with all the tourist traps. Yeah. I like that. I want to go into your little tourist trap shop and buy matching t-shirts for my family.
Yeah.
I want to do that.
Like
I
Gatlinburg, Tennessee.
Yes, I like that. Okay. The little beach shops in Myrtle Beach, this, Arizona, they have them everywhere.
Trinkets.
So the snake guy's there. And I'm like, I want to hold the snake. And Blake starts freaking out. She's like, no, don't pull the snake out. Don't pull the snake out. She's like afraid it's going to strangle her or something. So then we pull the snake out. Me and Brian are both taking pictures with it. And it like starts to wrap. And she's like, no. She's like, don't. It's
on her?
On Brian.
On Brian.
She's afraid the snake's going to kill her dad. And it doesn't. Obviously, like, no, that's just what snakes do. It's going to be fine. And then she'll like kind of touch it a little bit. But I love that kind of stuff where I'm like, yes, Terry the snake guy knows what he's doing.
Was his name really Terry?
No, but I took that from, there's a guy in Cleveland who goes around to all the schools with all of his exotic pets. His name is Jungle Terry.
Oh, I think they came... We had a guy like that. There's probably
They probably have him in every
state
state.
in the world. Yeah.
But the one in Cleveland is Jungle Terry, where he's got chinchillas and snakes.
Yes.
And, exotic birds and like a hawk or whatever.
Chinchilla. Damn.
So we did that, and then we go up and we have like a nice dinner, and we're staying in this really cool hotel, and everything's great. And then like all three of us were sad to leave Sedona. Like it was like this.
I thought you were gonna say to leave the snake.
No, not to leave the snake. To leave Sedona. Like it was this beautiful bonding like family trip that was so great and brought us close together, and we had so much fun, and like we made memories, and it was awesome. And then like we drove back down to Goodyear a couple days later, and Blake just wanted to get in the pool. That's it. Where she was like, she liked Sedona and doing the pink Jeep tour and all that kind of stuff. But then by the time we get back, she's like, oh, let's spend the next 2 days in the pool.
Yeah. Yeah.
And actually on that trip, we went to their like housing community. It's not like a senior community, but it's all old people because it's Arizona. They have like a clubhouse that has a pool and a restaurant and pickleball and all that. So we go to the pool at the clubhouse, and there's a little girl with really, really short hair. And it's dyed all different colors, purple, blue. And Blake was probably 7 at this time, and this little girl's maybe 10 or 12.
Oh, wow.
And so Blake's like,
parents.
She's like, I love your hair. She's there with her grandparents. She's like, I love your hair. It's so cool. And this little girl goes, yeah, I had leukemia. And they had to cut all my hair off. So my grandparents said, when I grow it back, I can dye it whatever colors I want. And Blake's like, what's leukemia? Like, she didn't know what it was. So then this girl is like describing having cancer to Blake. But Blake I don't think she really comprehends what it is.
She's like, so do you want to play mermaids? Or
So this little girl's talking to Blake about being in the hospital and like spending all this time getting treatments and things like that. And the only recollection, like the only connection Blake has to a hospital, a couple summers before that, Blake had gotten a 3rd-degree burn on the bottom of her foot. She stepped on like a really hot coal, and it basically burned the whole bottom of her foot off. Oof. So this little girl is telling Blake about leukemia and treatments and growing her hair back. And Blake goes, one time I burned my foot, so I know how hard it is to be in the hospital. And this little girl who's like her entire life, she's like stronger than any 50-year-old man you've ever met. This little girl just like kind of looked at her and was like, that sounds really hard. Yeah.
She goes, do you have a scar? Let me see it.
Yeah, she's being sweet.
Blake's like, yeah, it took 4 bandages.
Yeah, right.
Get this back.
Yeah, they
She's like, I'm lucky I can walk.
Yeah, they did end up playing for like the rest of the time. But that trip was like great. That trip was like a very cool, bonding, fun, loving experience. Like a very good memory in my head.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
There's always, I like a good vacation story.
I mean, I have plenty of terrible vacation stories too.
Yeah. I'm normally pretty happy on vacation. EDC was probably the worst vacation I ever did.
Electric Dance. EDC?
Yeah. It's an EDM concert.
Yeah.
Big EDM
concert.
I
feel like drugs has a lot to do with, but all right. Well, those were 2 happy vacations we had.
Yeah.
All right. And I'm in Alaska right now, so I'll be back next week, and maybe I'll talk about if Alaska was good or bad. Right now, I have a feeling it's going to be good because Brian and I have a lot of adventures planned. We're kayaking, we're hiking, we're doing a helicopter tour. I'll tell you guys. Yeah, next week I'll cover all that. We'll go over how fun that was. And then in the meantime, send us your vacation stories at specialfriendsnyc@gmail.com. You can follow us at Special Friends Pod on Instagram. I'm Mary Santora Comedy on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook.
Same, but at Sarah Pop Tarts for me.
And that's it.
All right.
See you. Bye.